What to do if you did not get into medical school. And I know some of you are now thinking, shit, now I have to teach biology to middle schoolers. But that's not necessarily true, because with a teaching degree and a higher level of education, you can teach high schoolers. No, I'm totally kidding. But the reason I'm making this video is because with medical school applications coming around, some of you are either applying to medical school or already watching videos on what to do if you don't match. First of all, if that fits your case, don't psych yourself out. Stop this video, relax, and just really keep your mindset moving forward on getting into medical school, going on those interviews, and concentrating and focusing on who you are. Memorize your personal statement and figure things out. But for those of you who genuinely went through the process once and did not match into medical school, this video is going to be for you. Now, there's really two general categories on where this discussion is going to go. And one is if you are dead set on still going to medical school and doing that career, or if you're considering other options. That one decision is really going to decide where you go moving forward. So let's say medicine is your passion and you can absolutely not do anything else other than medicine and you're dead set on going into it, but something just went wrong this time and things didn't match up. Now, you have to look at your application and see exactly why you didn't match. Was it maybe your board scores that were a little bit below the average for the admission rates? Was it maybe your GPA that just wasn't high enough? A really solid thing that you can do is to go ahead and ask some of those medical school admission committees why your application wasn't strong enough. You can ask them questions like, why wasn't I offered an interview? What would have made my application stronger? Because let's face it, you paid the AAMC a lot of money, and a lot of these schools secondaries, if you got secondaries from those medical schools, a fee and a lot of money, and therefore they really do deserve to give you an opportunity to say, hey, this is what you could have worked on, this is what we didn't like about your application, and these are the parts that we did like. What can you do moving forward? There can be a variety of different things that could have been wrong with your application, but one thing that I've seen a lot of people do who are heading into the second trials of admissions the next year of trying to get in again is to do either a research year, meaning you're applying to a lot of different universities or different hospital affiliations to try to find a research position, whether it's clinical or bench work, really something that's going to get a little publication on your name and also get you a little bit of connections and experience. Retaking some courses in undergrad. Now, I know that may not be an option for a lot of you because that can be expensive, it can take time, and let's face it, you would have to go back and do undergraduate classes or some sort of anatomy and biology classes to really bump up your GPA. Sometimes that may not even help you in the end because they do at the end take an average of not only your first undergrad GPA but also your post-bac classes. 3 is taking the MCAT again because maybe your MCAT score was just not high enough. Again, they're going to be taking an average of all of your MCAT scores, meaning if this is going to be the second time you're taking it, they will take an average of the first and second scores, and then you're going to move into your application that way. If you're going to be taking it a second time, you really want to focus and try to get a higher score. Next, you can take a year off and not necessarily do research, but you can do medical scribing, meaning you're going into an emergency department or some sort of medical field and scribing for physicians in real time on their documentations. Because physicians have a lot of note-taking to do, it really bogs down a lot of their time, and something that's really helpful for even me as a physician when I was working is to have a scribe type up notes for you and those sorts of things. Really, anything else you do in the gap between that year that you applied and the next time that you apply for medical schools, it's got to be a combination of not only taking some time to yourself and learning who you are and all that kind of stuff, but also strengthening your application. That's going to be really the strongest and most important thing that you can do if you're really dead set on going into medical school. For those of you who think, hey, maybe medicine was not necessarily the right thing for me, or I kind of want to maybe apply to other types of schools, this next part's going to be for you. Remember when I was talking about teaching? Yeah, that's definitely an option. You can definitely be teaching middle schoolers, high schoolers. You can definitely use your biology degree to the fullest. A lot of people get biology degrees and do other jobs, not necessarily just applying to graduate schools. You can even look up positions in research and bench work that people do for absolutely real jobs. I've met a lot of them and they're fantastic. They can work at big hospital centers, smaller centers, private, pretty much private research. If you have another science degree or another degree entirely, there's a lot of different things that you can be going into. This is going to sound like a cop-out and it's going to sound a little bit cliche when I say this, but you can apply to other graduate schools. For example, applying to dental school. And I know that sounds crazy, but I know plenty of people who tried the medicine route the first time, didn't get in, and maybe tried to apply to a different graduate school. Either dental school, PA school, like being a physician assistant, and you're still doing medicine. In fact, PA school is 2 years, you're going to be working under physician, under supervision, and you're still going to be doing a lot of the same things. after becoming a PA, you can go into every single field that a physician will otherwise do, and you can even switch between them after you've gotten out of school. There's no residency per se that is going to fixate you on one absolute career, as physicians have to do after medical school. A lot of PA schools accept the MCAT. Some of them also accept the GRE. If you want to be applying to dental school, you'll have to take DAT exam. No, it's DAT exam. It's the DAT. It's the dental admission test. Now don't start thinking that dental school is a lot easier to get into medical school. It's very competitive, and it's still down the line of medicine because you're still helping people in that field. If you are still really interested in medicine and those fields just don't really apply to you, you can try something like veterinary medicine, which is also going to require the GRE. Veterinary medicine is on a whole different scale of competitiveness, to be honest, so I think this one would be a little bit of a stretch, but definitely I don't think that's something completely unheard of. This is because there's only 29 veterinary schools in the United States, and a lot of people want to go to vet school because, hey, I mean, you're helping animals, and therefore it's going to be extremely competitive. Now I want to reiterate this, that if you're watching this during this medical school application cycle, please just really try to focus on your application and don't psych yourself out. One of my favorite professors during medical school once told me, everything's going to be alright in the end, and if it's not alright, it's not the end. As always, please like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and as always, good luck.